Hey Austin, thank you for coming. Well, hello guys. I know it's a little bit later than what you're normally used to seeing me. Usually I will like to go live at 3:30, but I didn't have a cord apparently but I forgot to bring like a cord or something today that would have been able to charge my phone up because by the time I got to the library, it was at 80%, and I would like my phone to at least be at 100% before I go live. Yeah, I can mod you on this channel, Everbless, if you want me to. You know, this is a standard mod. I'm not having any manager mods on this channel except for maybe Danny. He may be the only one that I make as a manager mod. And I don't have Nightbot on this channel either. But you know what this is? You know what I'm here for? It's Wrestling Week in Review. This week there was a lot of wrestling. There was also the draft. The draft that happened on this past Friday night on SmackDown. So let's get to it. Let's get with it. Excuse me. Sorry, I just gotta get my water bottle. I gotta make sure I stay hydrated. What's that, Austin? I'm hope everybody's having a fantastic start to their weekend. I know I am. Just being here with you guys is good enough for me. Monday Night Raw started with Jey Uso and Damian Priest. They had a in-ring segment. They talked about their upcoming match at Backlash. I don't know. I can't remember much of what they said. All I know is that this was not as good as maybe it could have been, as it should have been, maybe. I don't know. Damian Priest did not come out of this segment looking the least bit good. Hey Danny. Thank you for oh, well, that's nice. Did you catch anything? It's the $1 million question. Did you catch any fish? And if so, how big were they? Wow, that's actually pretty neat. That's pretty neat, Austin. I'm glad you got to enjoy that. The last couple of days, all I've been really enjoying is my bed, a thermometer, and a lot of ginger ale and Sprite because I've now basically set it on Facebook. I put it on Facebook, and then I also put it on my main channel on YouTube. I think it was Wednesday. It was starting on like Tuesday. And obviously, if you guys are hearing me and you are feeling like my voice isn't quite as normal as it usually would be, that's mainly because sorry about that. It's because I've been having problems. I've been having a scratchy throat. And I did have a temperature. At one point it was 102, but that has since gone down. I do not think my temperature is gonna be a problem anymore, but I still have the scratchy throat. Okay, I'll look at it. Hey, Is that him? Is that really him? Ah, ha ha. Wherever you are definitely not Matt, and you are definitely hidden. I don't know you very well, reported Stolen. I don't know if Mox is here because Danny apparently seems to suspect he is. But hey, this stream is going to go off without a hitch. Hopefully. But yeah, we also got the return of Gunther for the first time. Yeah, I know, Hunter. Yeah, I know, Aaron. Did you see where? Yeah, I saw where the Washington Commanders, drafted yet another quarterback in the as for the second pick of the draft. They were the second pick in the first round. They got themselves another quarterback. I immediately, as soon as I saw it, and I was watching a good portion of the first round of the draft on TV as it was on. And as soon as I saw that they drafted another quarterback, I immediately thought to myself, okay, how long will this guy last? Will this guy last 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or will the completely obvious thing happen and they trade him halfway through the season for someone completely different? Like Washington Commanders, they've seemed to have, within the last 3 years, 4 years, or however long, within the last 3 or 4 years, they have gone through a revolving door of quarterbacks. Like every season, they go through at least 2 or 3 quarterbacks throughout the entire season. It's like the quarterback they start out with is not the quarterback they end the season with. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the Chiefs are better. They've got a they got their star quarterback. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. But yeah. But hey, yeah. Thank you, Aaron, for getting me off topic. I'll get you for this. But yeah, we had Gunther return. Hey, Everboss, I haven't done a thing to report it stolen. I'm just being cautious. I'm being cautious, Everboss, because I'm just trying not to mod too many people. Also, I'm just trying not to mod the wrong people. Okay? So if I don't mod every single person that comes into this live chat, it's because I'm being cautious. And like, obviously, I don't want to mod somebody that I know is gonna be a troll that's gonna just start timing people out like crazy because I've had problems with that on my main channel, and I had to reset all my mods because of that. Well, Gunther returned for the first time since WrestleMania. Since losing the IC title at WrestleMania, he announced himself as a part of the King of the Ring tournament this year. They are bringing it back to Saudi Arabia at the end of May. At the end of May. Last year they did the same thing. They had two PLEs in May last year too. Backlash and Night of Champions. We see. Oh, that's pretty cool, Austin. We also got. Yes, we got Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar was on the show. He talked with Judgment Day. Now, I don't know how severe Dominic's injury is, but apparently he was being shown in a sling. I, I think from what I've heard since then, he doesn't need surgery, which is good. Which is good. I guess if he doesn't need surgery, that's good for him. But I don't know. But hey, it's looking like he doesn't need surgery, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. But he was not. He was supposedly supposed to be in a tag match with JD McDonough versus Andrade and Ricochet, and now Santos Escobar is being put in the match in Dominic's place. Obviously, Andrade and Ricochet actually do pick up the win. After the match, Damian Priest just comes in, just storms, and just attacks on both Andrade and Ricochet. He then just starts yelling at Dominic and JD. It's like, hey, you guys don't need me, but I need you. I don't need you guys, but you guys need me. If it wasn't for me, you guys would be like losers, basically. I don't know the whole gist of what he said, but he basically just yelled at them like, you guys are losers. You guys keep losing all the time. What's your problem? What's you guys' problem? Can't you guys just ever lose? Can't you guys ever get anything right? Do anything right? Like, I don't know, but it was crazy. It was crazy. Hey, Jeffrey. And I'm not gonna mod you at the moment unless you really want, unless you don't mind. I'm just gonna try not to mod as many people on this live stream, on this channel. But yeah, we also got a Drew McIntyre segment. He continued to talk about CM Punk. I think at one point he talked about something. I didn't remember what it was. It was about. I think it was had something to do with like people lasting longer in bed and something. And I'm not gonna say that. This was actually interrupted by Sheamus. They had a back and forth. At one point, Drew McIntyre said something that I thought was hilarious. He said that at one point for Sheamus, it was banger after banger after banger, and ever since he came back, it just seems like it's been burger after burger after burger. It does look as if Sheamus did put on a little bit of weight in the stomach area. So yeah, that was funny, to say the least. That's all I'm gonna say. It was funny, and hey. Afterwards, we got a match between Sheamus and Shinsuke Nakamura. This match went about 7-8 minutes. Sheamus does win. Yeah, hopefully you're back. Hopefully you're back soon, Aaron. I do miss your live streams. We also got you also got a Sami Zayn backstage. He was backstage being interviewed, which can't remember which person it was that was interviewing him. He was interrupted by Bronson Reed. They got... Yeah. Where has Latin 50 been? Where has he been? Why is he not going live anymore? I miss his live streams on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I miss him. I don't know where he's been, but he's been MIA for too long now. he was attacked by Bronson Reed. This, no doubt, is leading to a match for the IC title. I do see that happening. I do see that happening. We also, I mean, he keeps posting like short videos to his channel, but he isn't going live. I mean, maybe it's because he just doesn't have the time anymore. Maybe he just doesn't have time right now to go live. We got Chad Gable. He officially explained the reason why he turned on Sami Zayn in Montreal after their match for the IC title, which obviously I think Chad Gable really wanted to win, but I think he felt like he needed this win, and when he didn't get the win, he sort of snapped and turned on Sami Zayn. This was a great segment, and obviously this heel turn is going to be great. Some people are already comparing this to Kurt Angle, comparing him to Kurt Angle, which honestly, I'm just gonna say it right now. Why in the world did they make Jason Jordan be the one to be Kurt Angle's son? Chad Gable would have been the most obvious choice because he's the move set that he does, the German suplexes, the Olympic slam. Obviously, Kurt Angle's much bigger and much heavier than Chad Gable is, but still, the moonsault, everything that Chad Gable does is basically, and he does the ankle lock. He does the ankle lock just like Kurt Angle does. Now, obviously, he can't do it with as much force as Kurt Angle does, obviously, but it would have made so much more sense for them to have Chad Gable be the son of Kurt Angle. Even though I think obviously I think in reality he wasn't. They just did that for a storyline purpose. But like people are already comparing him to Kurt Angle, and I'm sure a lot of people have been comparing him to Kurt Angle for a while now, simply because he moves so much like Kurt Angle did. Just in terms of the moveset, his moveset is almost an exact copy and paste of Kurt Angle's, minus adding in a few extra moves. But this Kurt Angle-esque heel run, I think, will be just great and in this segment, he also had the members of Alpha Academy, Maxxine Dupri, Akira Tozawa, and Otis. He basically mocked every single one of them. He mocked Akira Tozawa for his loss, for his constant losing, and for his stupid dance that he would do when they were like backstage. Every time they were like backstage, he would always start doing a little dance. I thought it was pretty stupid also. So it's a good thing I'm not the only one that thought that. He also made fun of Maxxine, saying she was pretty as a princess, but dumb as a box of rocks. Basically confirming what everybody else, every other wrestling fan, has been saying for quite a while now. Now when it comes to Maxxine Dupri, she's pretty, but she's stupid. Pretty and blonde and dumb. That's basically what most men are into nowadays. Blonde and dumb. And that's basically what he called her. Blonde and dumb. He also called Otis his greatest disappointment. And interestingly, and that's surprising because he was the first ever Alpha Academy member. Because Because when they started this, it was actually in 2021 when they started this. Actually, I think it started even in late 2020. This has been going on for 4 years now. They've been doing this, and it was only until like 2022 going into 2023 when they started adding Maxine, and then when Maxine started pulling around her. It was in late 2022 when Maxine started hanging around Otis, and then she eventually just left the Maximum Male models. They got released. And then they brought Akira Tozawa in the group, which I guess I don't know. But hey, it was a great segment. There have been some rumors that the Creed brothers might turn heel and join Chad Gable. I actually do hope that's the case. But if that happens, what happens with Ivy Nile? Does she turn heel with Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, or does she remain a face and join Maxine and the other Alpha Academy outcasts? I don't know. We will see what happens. We'll see what happens with the draft as well. We also got Awesome Truth versus maybe not the worst draft ever, but it could have been better. There were a lot of like, could have seen this coming, should have seen this coming, or should have seen this coming in terms of the draft picks. A lot of people were either staying on their own brand. There was minimal brand change with switches, except for maybe the occasional like Andrade, Nia Jax moving to SmackDown, Braun moving to Raw. Oh, well, I don't know what he said. I don't even know what he said, but hey, I'm not worried about him right now. I'm just worried about getting this live stream over with as quick as I can. We got Awesome Truth versus DIY for the World Tag Team titles. And I thought DIY was going to win the tag team titles, but then when they didn't, I was like, I mean, okay, it's okay. I like Awesome Truth. Wait, did he? Okay, that's interesting. I'm quite surprised that happened. But hey, I am a little shocked about that, apparently. But hey, I'm a fan of Awesome Truth. I'm a fan of DIY. So it's not like I was torn, like I was rooting for one or the other. It's just that I was expecting DIY to win. And then when they didn't win, I was like, it's okay. But then how many more chances are they going to get at the tag team titles? At the end of the match was actually, the ending of the match and the post-match was what was really interesting. Obviously, Johnny Gargano went and shook both R-Truth and Miz's hands, but Ciampa did not seem interested in doing none of that. And even afterwards, in a backstage interview, DIY were being interviewed, and Ciampa just did not look happy. I don't know if this is leading to another heel turn from Ciampa, like his. I mean, if this is leading towards another heel turn for Ciampa, that's similar to what happened in NXT at Stand and Deliver at NXT TakeOver Chicago 2017, then it actually could be better. Then it could be good. Although I'm not sure what's going to happen. But who knows? We'll see what happens. We also got the main event, which was a women's battle royale for the vacant women's world championship. Obviously, Becky Lynch won this match. She is the new women's world champion. I do think, though, that Liv Morgan might get a shot at the title at some point. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen pretty soon. Sometime soon, within the next month or so. I don't see Becky Lynch holding that title for very long. That's cool, Dolores. That was Monday Night Raw. If I had to rate Monday Night Raw out of 10, it would be 6.5, because there were some things that were good, some things that were meh. The opener was not good between Jey Uso and Damian Priest. Damian Priest just looked like a fool in that segment. And then we go into NXT. This week it's NXT Spring Break-In. Their 2-week special episode. This is NXT Spring Break-In. This was their first night. This week was their first night of Spring Break-In. This upcoming Tuesday will be their night 2. On this night we got 2 championship matches. We got a 6-man tag team match, a beach brawl, which is basically a no DQ match, and 2 singles matches, one with the ladies, one with the men. We got oh, excuse me. Oh gosh. Drink some more water, people. Drink water, people. At the beginning of the show, we get all 3 GMs are in, I guess, Ava Rain's office. We got Adam Pearce is there. Ava Rain is there. Nick Aldis, apparently, I guess, was somewhere else remotely because he was on a screen. They were talking about tonight's NXT Spring Break-In. Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis started talking about the main event, which was to be Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov. They talked about certain NXT superstars that they would like to see either on SmackDown or on Monday Night Raw. We actually did get some NXT call-ups in the draft. Talk about that later. The opening match was Roxanne Perez versus Tatum Paxley versus Lyra Valkyria. This is a triple threat match for the NXT Women's title. I'm not necessarily happy that Vince is gone. Let's just say, Vince McMahon created WWE. He created WrestleMania. There will never be another person like Vince McMahon ever in WWE. So, it's not like I'm happy that he's gone or overjoyed, but it's just disappointing that all the things that happened to him had to happen. This match went about 11 minutes. Was actually a very good triple threat match for the women's title. At the end of the match, I don't even really know what move Tatum Paxley did. She just drove Lyra Valkyria down to the mat. She went up to the top rope, did actually a very good 450 splash, but then Roxanne Perez just immediately comes in, does a jackknife cover, covers Tatum Paxley for the win, and basically steals it from Tatum. I don't know if we're going to get a match between Tatum Paxley and Roxanne Perez at some point for the title because I don't know. Liv Morgan has definitely gotten a lot better since like her days in the Riot Squad. Obviously, between 2021 and like 2023, she was definitely getting a lot better, and she is definitely a lot better now than she was before. The next match, immediately after this, we get a backstage segment with Jada Parker of OTM and Fallon Henley. They start brawling in the locker room. This leads to a match later on. Second match was the six-man tag team match, the No Quarter Catch Crew of Miles Bourne, Damon Kemp, and the Heritage Cup champion Charlie Dempsey versus the D'Angelo family, Tony D'Angelo, Stax, and Luca Crucifino. Well, I guess is playing this lawyer character and has only recently joined the family. This was the standard six-man tag match. The D'Angelo family do pick up the win here. Wasn't that bad. We also got several NXT alumni coming down to NXT. I think a lot of them were here to see the main event between Trick Williams and Ilya Dragunov. We got the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. They were interviewed. They are, I guess, clearly rooting for Whoop That Trick, although they probably respect Ilya Dragunov, but I think they were just really hoping that Trick Williams won. We also got the New Catch Republic of Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. They also were here to watch this main event match. Johnny Gargano even showed up, had a backstage segment with Trick Williams where they talked about the main event. JD McDonough also showed up. He, I guess, was supporting Ilya Dragunov. No, I don't hate Hulk Hogan. I do not believe there will ever be a part of me that just hates Hulk Hogan for no reason. Yeah, I actually do like Hulk Hogan, and I will continue to be a Hulk Hogan fan for all the way till the day I die. Mostly, who knows? We also got a contract signing. This was for the NXT Underground match, the first ever women's NXT Underground match, which will happen on night 2 of Spring Break-In. Now that I don't want to happen, because I don't think Hulk Hogan should be wrestling anymore. He's retired. He should stay retired. Yes, would I like to see him make appearances in WWE from time to time? Yes, that's something I would love to see. But just no, he doesn't need to be wrestling anymore. In my honest opinion, and unbiased as well. Natalya and Elektra and the Lola Vice will be facing off against each other this upcoming Tuesday in an NXT Underground match. They signed the contract. Lola Vice brought out her training partner for this match, which turned out to be none other than Shayna Baszler. Worst wrestling match I've ever seen. Oh, great. I have no idea. I guess it would have to be the evening gown match between Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson. That would just be my worst. That and the Kennel from Hell match. because that match did nothing, did none of the stuff it was supposed to do, because apparently the dogs weren't even vicious dogs. They were scared the entire time. And Maroney, I am doing just fine. Modern day, I actually do not know. I probably wouldn't be able to tell you what my worst wrestling match was. Modern day. Mainly because I just watch so much wrestling each week that it's hard for me to tell which match is actually bad. But Shayna Baszler did get a pretty big response from the NXT crowd. We also got this match, which I talked about earlier. This came about because of a backstage altercation. Jada Parker of OTM versus Fallon Henley. Jada Parker does win this with a hip check, more like a hip attack move. I can't remember what the announcers called it, but yeah, I know. A lot of people like to say that, but I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't know. But Jada Parker does win the match, an impressive win for her. We then also get a match. This match, another match that also was because of a backstage altercation. Oh, well, that's really cool, Maroney. Have fun. Also, if anybody that just now came in or that has been here and has not hit that like button, if you want to, you don't have to, but I would appreciate it very much. We also got Lexis King versus Baron Corbin. This also came about because of a backstage interaction. We got Baron Corbin was being interviewed earlier on in the day. We got a match. Then Lexis King walks up with a gift basket. Talks about him potentially leaving NXT in the draft and potentially having a Braun Breaker leave him, basically. Oh, Hacker of Tomorrow. So good to see you again, only to hide you and time you out again. Get out of here. We don't need you. This match went about 8 minutes or so. Lexis King actually did win this match, which was pretty interesting, which was great. I don't know what his best match was, but I can tell you what his worst match was. It was against Undertaker at Super Showdown 2019. And I know some people will say, oh no, that's the greatest match of all time. Yeah, right. Undertaker even said that the match wasn't very good. And if Undertaker is willing to tell you that one of his matches wasn't very good, you better believe him. I mean, his WrestleMania match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33 is the reason why he didn't initially retire that year. Yes, Undertaker was supposed to retire in 2017, not 2020. His match with Roman Reigns wasn't very good. He realized this and realized, oh wait, the fans don't deserve me to go out like that. So he came back. He had a few more matches. One against John Cena at WrestleMania 34, the obvious match with Triple H at Super Showdown 2018, and which was the match with Kane and Brothers and DX at Crown Jewel 2018, which was actually, I don't know in Saudi Arabia. We also got the Boneyard match, which I think was the perfect match to end Undertaker's career, was that Boneyard match. It was perfect for Undertaker. It fit his character to a T. But if I had to say, I know they're allowed to have opinions, but The Undertaker's opinion means more to me than anything. Because he said the match wasn't good. And I agree with The Undertaker's opinion. But if you're asking me Goldberg's best match since his return, I would have to say Bobby Lashley, Crown Jewel 2021, 2020, I think it was 2021. His no holds barred match with it was a no DQ style match against Bobby Lashley. I think it was no holds barred. That was a good match. It went about 12, 13 minutes or so, but it went the length it needed to go. And it was a good match between Bobby Lashley and Goldberg, and it's exactly what needed to happen. It's Undertaker. It's Undertaker. When Undertaker says something about one of his matches, you're gonna listen to it no matter who you are. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's just the way I see it. Back to the stream. The next to last match of the night was Sol Ruca versus Blair Davenport. This was a beach brawl, no DQ match. So basically, all the things you could use. They had like a picnic table with like a cloth on top of it. We got a surfboard, a boogie board. We got a picnic bench was used. We got kendo sticks. They even used beach balls at one point, and they even had like a little inflatable pool with beach balls in them. Well, yeah, obviously they don't know what a good wrestling match is. Sol Ruca did win this match in about 9 minutes. It was actually a pretty decent little match for what it was. It was a no DQ style match. It fit Sol Ruca's personality to a T. It was a good little match for spring break, and it was also a bit of a nod to the theme of the night, which was spring break-in. So it was a nice little match. Congrats to Sol Ruca for finally getting a revenge win against Blair Davenport. And then the main event was Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov. This was a great match, went about 11, 12 minutes, and that was all I think it really needed to go for. And Trick Williams is your new NXT champion. I do believe Ilya Dragunov will be called up in the draft on Monday, so we'll have to see about that. Oh yeah, I don't listen to those people. Yeah. Now on to, if I had to rate NXT Spring Break-In, this one I would actually rate a 7 out of 10 because I thought it was a really good episode, and it did have a bit of a edge because it had some good matches, and it was a themed episode, Spring Break-In. Next week, night 2 of Spring Break-In, we also got AOP. They attacked the new NXT Tag Team Champions of Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Well, yeah, we're obviously going to get some people that are going to stay on each stay on the brands that they were originally on, and then some people will get moved and switched around and all that. Also, we got AOP attacking the new NXT Tag Team Champions Axiom and Nathan Frazier. They will go head to head for the NXT Tag Team titles on night 2. Again on night 2, we got a North American Championship match. Oba Femi versus Ivar of the Viking Raiders. This match should be very good. This match should be very good. Now, I can't remember where Ivar was drafted. I think he was drafted after the draft happened, after the draft had ended and the show had ended, SmackDown ended, and I think it was drafted to Raw, so I think we know who's going to win this match between Oba Femi and Ivar, but that does not mean that the match will be good. Will not be good. Yeah, it was. I mean, the match between Goldberg and Undertaker could have been good, but there was some botches, like when Goldberg tried the jackhammer and that didn't work at all. But yeah, hey. Also on night 2, we got the women's underground match between Natalya and Lola Vice. That should be good. If I had to rate, and obviously I rated it 7 out of 10. So now over to Dynamite, AEW Dynamite. This show was a mess. It was I wouldn't say it was a bad mess. It was a good mess because there was a lot of things that were good. It was just everything everything about Dynamite was in the wrong order. That doesn't mean that most of it was bad or anything. Well, I don't know about that. But hey, I think Undertaker is very safe in the ring. I'm sure Undertaker knows full well how to protect someone in the ring. I don't know. I mean, we did see Michelle McCool return last night for the draft, and for the few times we've seen her in the women's Royal Rumble matches, the very first one in 2018 and the one in 2022 and 2023, she looked great every single one of those times. So I would like to see Michelle McCool come back. Honestly, that would probably also mean that The Undertaker would come back in some capacity as too, since they are husband and wife. Yeah, she looked really good in her last year. She actually looked really good last year. I'm not gonna lie and tell you that she didn't look good, because she did. You can tell she still looks good. Obviously she still keeps herself fit, so that if she ever does decide, hey, I'm gonna come back and do another run, she'll look good doing it. She'll still look just as good as she did maybe 10 years ago. But hey, that's great. It's great that she still looks good enough to still be doing this. Because her match with Becky Lynch at Payback was honestly one of the best women's matches of last year. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 39 had to have been the best women's match of the year. Although some people might say that the best women's match of 2023 was a squash match. Because apparently that's what we need more of. that, I was surprised when I heard that last year. It was initially supposed to be him winning, and I was just surprised that Vince was okay with it. Like, wasn't Vince McMahon the one that gave Roman Reigns this incredible title run? And I just wouldn't have seen, and I just would not have seen Vince McMahon ever allowing anybody to beat Roman Reigns. But then I guess they felt long-term booking-wise, it would have made more sense for him to chase the title over the lengthy period instead of just giving him the title right away after coming back. I think it actually worked out better for WWE. But yeah, Dynamite was okay. We got, probably, maybe. I don't know what Vince's head was at. But we got a bunch of backstage segments. We got Jack Perry I'm guessing Jack Perry's back in AEW. He had a backstage moment before near the middle of the show. He said that he will be in the ring in the main event after the main event match, which I think was Jon Moxley versus Powerhouse Hobbs for the IWGP World Championship, which was actually featured in the main event. First time that this title has ever been in the main event of an AEW show. Surprising. I'm surprised. The match wasn't even that good, but Powerhouse Hobbs was obviously as good as always. Jon Moxley was also backstage. At one point, he talked up his main event match with Powerhouse Hobbs and talked up Powerhouse Hobbs as well. Thunder Rosa was also backstage. Thunder Rosa was also backstage. She talked about her match at Dynasty with Toni Storm. Said she might have won had it not been for Deonna Purrazzo's interference. Deonna Purrazzo then comes out and they start having words. Officials have to sort of hold them back. They will actually have a match tonight on Rampage following Collision. I won't be watching it. We got a return coming next week. They advertised Kenny Omega is returning to next week. I guess in Winnipeg or wherever they said they were going to be next week. He's been out for quite a while, at least not since August of last year, when he was diagnosed apparently with diverticulitis, the same sickness that Brock Lesnar had in 2010. In 2010, that caused him to actually lose a little bit of weight. I hope Kenny Omega's doing well. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of his, but I hope he's well. But yeah, the first actual segment we got was Trent Beretta attacking Orange Cassidy. He calls out his other former best friends member, Chuck Taylor. Eventually, Chuck Taylor just decides to just attack Trent Beretta. He says that he's willing to fight you anywhere, anytime, any place, but that the only place they can really fight is in the parking lot. So, and it was made official. Shortly after that, it was made official that also on Rampage tonight, immediately following Collision, there will be a parking lot brawl. But this time it won't be best friends versus this or that. It'll be Trent Beretta versus Chuck Taylor in a parking lot brawl at Daly's place. There'll still be a Daly's place for Collision and Rampage. And we all know Daly's place is synonymous with the parking lot brawl. That's where they had the very first one. I think it was in 2020, which I'm sure at the time was actually a very smart move because you don't usually need a whole lot of people to watch that match. I mean, the parking lot brawl probably won't be boring. It'll probably be a good match, and I'll probably watch it at least just to see what happens and to see who actually winds up winning. Then we got Kyle Fletcher. Yeah, versus Swerve Strickland. Something we did not need. This was a eliminator match, meaning if Kyle Fletcher wins, he gets a future title shot against Swerve Strickland. He was not going to win, and he didn't. Swerve wins. One thing they actually did not do for Swerve Strickland that they did for actually two other guys that won championships is they didn't give him a celebration or even just a microphone just to talk to the fans. We got Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale segment. Willow Nightingale celebrated her win at Dynasty with her friend Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. Mercedes Moné came out in I think it was a purple dress. It was actually kind of pretty and beautiful. Well, they talked about their upcoming match at Double or Nothing. I'll say this much about Mercedes Moné. She's not the best talker. She's not the best when it comes to the mic, to being on the mic. And I also don't think she's a good babyface. I think she's just a good heel. I think she's a good heel. She's best when playing a heel, and I think that's the best move for her. And if they are going to turn her heel, then that's good, because I think she just deserves that. Deserves to be treated better. This was actually the best Mercedes Moné has actually looked since joining AEW, so big props for that. We also got Chris Jericho had a segment. He also had a segment that I can agree with. I can agree with that, Dolores. Charlotte Flair is definitely the best out of all the four horsewomen, both in terms of the amount of titles she's won, and just she is better. And she's also just Ric Flair's daughter, so it just makes perfect sense. She'd be the best out of those four. We got Chris Jericho and Big Bill segments. Chris Jericho talked about his match at Dynasty as well, how he didn't want to do the ending part of his match where he hit Jack Hook in the head with a baseball bat, but that Hook made him do it by not staying down. Yeah, unfortunately, I would have to agree with you. They're definitely much better stars. I don't know. I don't look at Eric Bischoff. I don't watch his podcast that he does, and I don't really listen to what Eric Bischoff says. I don't usually listen to any podcasters or wrestling podcasters that like Eric Bischoff or Jim Cornette. I don't listen to them. I don't really care about their opinions. I respect them, but I just don't really watch them or listen to them. We got a women's match. Also, with this segment, we had Big Bill come out and say that he wants to learn from Chris Jericho. I don't know where this is going, but it could go somewhere, and it could go somewhere good. I just don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. It was crazy what they did in the main event, though. We also got a match between Mina Shirakawa, who is some random Japanese wrestler from, I guess, from New Japan and Stardom, against Anna Jay. This match wasn't, I wouldn't say this match was any like good, because I didn't really watch it, and I don't really know what really happened. The ending of the match saw Toni Storm and Mariah May gang up on Anna Jay, but then Serena Deeb comes out, attacks Toni Storm, I guess apparently claiming that she's next in line for the women's championship. That's a match I'm going to be excited for because I'm a fan of Serena Deeb. I'm not going to lie. We got Powerhouse Hobbs versus Jon Moxley for the IWGP. This match wasn't very good. Powerhouse Hobbs did look good in this match, though, but how many more times is Powerhouse Hobbs going to be able to lose before people just give up on him? We also got a backstage segment. We also got a casino gauntlet match. This was to determine Roderick Strong's the casino gauntlet match. This was to determine Roderick Strong's opponent for Double or Nothing. We got, I think it was Lance Archer, Dante Martin, Penta El Zero Miedo, Commander. Will Ospreay was in this match. I can't remember who else was in this match. Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, the only person that was winning this match was Will Ospreay. He won this match. Great. He gets his match against Roderick Strong at Double or Nothing. I guess we all know who's winning that match. And I actually want Roderick Strong to have a longer run as international champion. That one that doesn't last no more than 2 months. 2-3 months. Not off the top of my head. No. I'd have to do a review of the pay-per-view first in order for me to give an honest and unbiased star rating. Then we also got a backstage segment after that match where Don Callis with the Don Callis family, Will Ospreay has made it clear after his match with Bryan Danielson at Dynasty, that he wants to stop using the Tiger Driver 91. I don't know. Hey, if he thinks the match was that good, then I don't know. I've yet to see the match, although I would love to. But hey, we'll see what happens. But yes, Will Ospreay has, since that match, has said that he would like to retire the Tiger Driver 91 because of the almost scary incident that happened during that match where he thought he might have broken Bryan Danielson's neck. Don Callis said, in your match with Roderick Strong, I want you to use that move on Roderick Strong. Like, Don Callis doesn't care how many broken necks that Roderick Strong has had. He just wants Don Callis, he wants Will Ospreay to win that title, however he has to. And then he started berating Kyle Fletcher for losing to Swerve Strickland. I don't know how long it's going to take for Will Ospreay to finally realize, hey, I don't need Don Callis anymore. So obviously he told you. And yes, I do watch JD. I don't agree with all of his opinions. Just maybe some of them. Then we got the main event, obviously, which was Jack Perry was out there called Tony Khan out. He wanted to, I guess, shake Tony Khan's hand. I guess to let bygones be bygones. But obviously that didn't happen. He got punched in the stomach. Jack Perry pummeled Tony Khan in the stomach with a microphone. And then the Elite came out of Kazuchika Okada and the Young Bucks. They then picked up, I don't know what really got me listening to JD from New York, but I'm guessing he's just the only wrestling, I guess, podcaster that I listen to right now, but I don't know what made me want to. Oh, wait. No, hide you. Go to hell. But then Tony Khan got picked up by the Elites, and they gave him a Meltzer driver, or as they are now calling it, the TK driver. I don't know, Dolores. That was crazy. But that guy's blocked from my channel from now on. Oh, get away from me, fly. But that was it. If I had to rate AEW Dynamite this week, 5.5. Maybe even a 5. 5.5 would be generous. I'd give it a 5 because there was a lot of people. A lot of the stuff was. Some of the stuff was good. It's just that it wasn't in the right order, and that's what's made the whole show feel like a mess to me. And now the Friday night SmackDown. Night 1 of the draft is happening. We got the first round. I mean, it's easy to see that when they keep losing like they are. Dominic isn't even winning matches anymore. JD, I don't think has won one match since joining Judgment Day. He may have won like 1 or 2, but that's it out of like probably 100 matches. Dominic hasn't won very many matches, and even Finn's hasn't won very many matches. No. Well, round 1 of the draft, we got Bianca Belair is staying on SmackDown. Oh, great. I can't remember most of the draft picks. We got Carmelo Hayes is on SmackDown now. He got called up. We got Liv Morgan was drafted to Raw. Nia Jax was drafted to SmackDown. LA Knight was drafted to SmackDown. AJ Styles was drafted to SmackDown. The Bloodline remain on SmackDown as well. Andrade was moved over to SmackDown. We got Ricochet was moved over. Will stay on Raw. Alpha Academy will stay on Raw. Naomi will stay on SmackDown. I can't remember most of the other draft picks. But then we got some draft picks after the show went off the air. We apparently got Baron Corbin, Cedric Alexander, and Ashante the Adonis. They stayed on They were drafted to SmackDown. Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, Isla Dawn, Alba Fire, they were drafted to Raw. Ivar was drafted to Raw. And I can't remember who else was drafted, but that's all the draft picks that I know of as of right now. We also got in the first round, we got Carmelo Hayes interrupting Cody Rhodes. He called out Cody Rhodes for a match, which was in the main event. The match was okay. I mean, maybe not. We got Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton. I think this is the third match between the two of them. This was to determine the number 1 contender for Bayley's title at Backlash. I don't know. I don't know if anybody will be taking over for Triple H. I mean, anything is possible in WWE. We got this match was interrupted by the newest member of SmackDown, that being Nia Jax. This forces Nick Aldis to announce that it will be a triple threat match between Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Bayley for the Women's Championship. I don't think Bayley loses the match this soon. I think Naomi eats the pin here because they want to strap the Rocket to Tiffany Stratton, but I'm guessing they also don't want her to get pinned here, so they're just going to do that. I see what they're doing. We also got a segment between the Bloodline. They were backstage. Oh God, no, not Brian Gewirtz. At the Bloodline, they talked about the draft. Kevin Owens shows up to attack both Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. Later on, we got a segment involving Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. They confronted Damage Control's Kairi Sane and Asuka. They will also have a match at Backlash for the women's tag team titles. I firmly believe this team will win. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will win. That's my prediction. We also got, but then almost immediately afterwards, we get the continuation of the brawl between KO and the Bloodline. Randy Orton also comes out to make the save. This leads Nick Aldis. I think it was Teddy Long. Actually, was the one that made this match official. Randy Orton and KO versus Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa at Backlash. I don't believe that. We also got Braun Breaker versus newly drafted SmackDown superstar Cedric Alexander. This match went about 15 seconds, I'm pretty sure. It was a short match. Bam, one spear, 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker wins. This might actually be the best thing. If they're positioning him to be kind of the next Goldberg, I see it. I clearly see it. He definitely has that Goldberg-like mannerisms. In terms of the moveset, he definitely looks like he could be the new version of Goldberg, not just Goldberg 2.0, because he's also got some of that Steiner blood in him, so he also does some of those Steiner moves, the Frankensteiner and all that, but he also does, I think, his own version of the jackknife, and the whatever the name of it was, and the spear. So hey, I think it's pretty cool. We also got LWO versus Legado 2.0. This was Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio versus Humberto and Angel. Yeah. LWO do win this match, but it was the post-match that had me interested. We finally were able to find footage of the attack on Dragon Lee, and yes, Carlito was the person responsible for that. I don't necessarily look at that. No, I don't pay attention to that as much. But and then we got Carmelo Hayes versus Cody Rhodes in the main event. This was actually a pretty decent match. The ending was what really worried me a little bit, because the ending saw them both go for dueling cross bodies. Carmelo Hayes missed, but when Cody Rhodes missed. He landed awkwardly on his shoulder, and he definitely looked like he was grabbing it. Like, I'm hoping he's not injured. I don't have any thoughts to that. I don't think I have any thoughts to that. But Cody Rhodes won the match. This was a okay, I'd say an okay draft. Night 1 of the draft. Night 2 might be better, but we'll see. If I had to rate this out of 10, it would be 6. Because we got some good segments, good matches, but then a lot of the stuff that happened with the draft. Oh yeah, we also got Kiana James. Kiana James was an NXT superstar. She's now up to the main roster on Monday Night Raw. That's one that I forgot, but I literally only just remembered. So we got very minimal moving back and forth between brands. When it came to pick, Seth freaking Rollins will also stay on Monday Night Raw, so that's good for him. And so that's it. If I had to rate SmackDown this week, it would be a 6 out of 10. Good, decent, but not anything special. Well, this is getting to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I enjoyed talking with you guys, Dolores. I actually really enjoyed talking with you. So hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, and hopefully my copyright strike on my main channel will be taken off soon, so I can get back to live streaming on my main channel. But until then, I will just continue the live stream on this second channel. See you guys later, and until next time, peace. Bye, guys.